Good morning. So I'm just powering up, and of course, the first thing I see here is this CNN video about the Sean Diddy Combs situation in Los Angeles. And I'm sure many of you already know about the situation a lot more than I do because I just have not been following it. And yesterday, of course, his two mansions were raided, one in Los Angeles and one in Miami, by the federal, law enforcement agency responsible for, you know, is it Homeland Security, where they are investigating or looking for evidence of human trafficking. Apparently, Mr. Combs was accused or has been accused of many salacious and filthy things, um, including trafficking women and sex workers to his various homes, including the one in Miami and the one in Los Angeles, and engaging in all kinds of other, you know, just total filth, really, and um, videotaping it and so on and so forth. But I believe the the agents apparently arrested his two sons, but they were released um, almost immediately. Why they were arrested, I'm not really sure because they're not the ones, to my understanding, who are under investigation. It's their father who owns these homes and who is accused by all of these various people of it having committed all these sexual crimes, pretty much. So for me, what is really mind blowing is the show of force in this situation. That's what really got my attention is the fact that you have all of these federal agents heavily armed storming this man's home in this way, two homes simultaneously in this way. So to me, that can only mean that they have very, very compelling evidence that he has committed, serious crimes, very, very serious crimes. Because I've never seen, I don't even think they raided Jeffrey Epstein's house in this way. Did they do that in Jeffrey Epstein's case? It's a very, very strong show of force, considering the fact that Mr. Combs seems to still be at large. I mean, he hasn't been arrested. And according to his attorney, um, his passport has not been restricted, even though I've heard on online that his passport wasn't restricted. Anyway, let's listen to some of this, and I'll meet you after the jump.
Josh, give us the latest.
Yeah, Wolf. Well, an attorney for Sean Combs blasting federal agents who were at both residences yesterday in Miami and here in Los Angeles, blasting what they're calling a show of force by armed tactical agents. The attorney describing this as a witch hunt, saying that this was a gross overuse of military level force. Still, he says that Combs is cooperating with investigators. I'll read you part of the statement. He goes on to say neither Mr. Combs nor any of his family members have been arrested, nor has their ability to travel been restricted in any way. There has been no finding of criminal or civil liability with any of these allegations. Mr. Combs is innocent and will continue to fight every single day to clear his name. Of course, Wolf, the law enforcement action that attorney is criticizing involved dozens of federal agents showing up yesterday at these residences. This team of federal agents, Wolf, responsible for investigating very serious federal crimes. Sean Diddy Combs, music mogul.
So yeah, I mean, I am hoping that, you know, very soon, like today, he's under arrest if, you know, it, you know, I cannot imagine that these law enforcement agents would do something like this without compelling justification. Because even when you are accused in the United States, at least, I don't know about other countries, you are innocent until you are proven guilty, right? And there's a certain level of deference, I think, for someone who is not even under arrest. He has not been arrested. I mean, I'm not a criminal law expert, obviously. That was my lowest grade in law school. I mean, I was not interested. But my understanding is that you are innocent until you are proven guilty, right? This man has not even been arrested, at least not of this moment that I'm speaking. Correct me if I'm wrong. As I said, I have not really been following. I only picked this up yesterday, right? Because I am just like tunnel vision with certain things. I'm just like not interested. I don't care. I don't look at it. But yesterday, I became interested when, news dropped that his homes, plural, had been invaded by heavily armed federal agents. I mean, if he had been in those homes and had simply made the wrong move, he could have been a dead man today, because, his profile is such that when dealing with police officers, you don't come out of this alive. You don't come out of this alive. They shoot first and ask questions later in many instances. So this is very, very serious. And it caught my attention because of that. But, the charges, I'm a little bit like, ugh, I want to talk about my flowers, my tablecloths, my beautiful crystal decanters. Do you know what I mean? It's just like I'm very hesitant to wade into this because I just want my mind to be put on certain things and not on certain things, if that makes sense. Whew. However, you know, I think this was a very, very heavy show of force by the federal agents, and I would be interested to see what happens like in the next couple of hours or days. I mean, it can't be that they did this just because of the man's profile and not because they had very, very serious and compelling evidence to have received a warrant from the magistrate judge in the first place, because they have to have warrants, to enter into someone's home in this manner, especially in this manner. They need a warrant, period. But in this manner, they need a warrant for sure. And to get a warrant to storm someone's house like this, it needs to be very serious. I'm thinking, I don't know. It's not my area of expertise. What is my area of expertise? Eating cookies. That's my area of expertise. Let's listen to some more of
By
this.
a team that specializes in human trafficking crimes. Two homes belonging to Combs, one in Los Angeles and one in Miami Beach, were searched Monday, according to a law enforcement source briefed on the investigation. A second law enforcement source familiar with the search warrants tells CNN agents were authorized to search his homes for documents, phones, computers, and other electronic devices. Armed vehicles descended on the property simultaneously, a precaution related to armed private security teams employed by Combs. His homes were searched by HSI, the principal investigative arm of the Department of Homeland Security, with personnel stationed across the globe, which specializes in countering human trafficking, focused both on rescuing victims and identifying and prosecuting suspected traffickers. This investigation coming on the heels of several civil lawsuits.
All of them were incredibly graphic, accusing Diddy of rape, grooming, sexual assault, drugging women. There's a lot of similarities in these lawsuits.
One of those from a former girlfriend, Cassandra Ventura, who goes by the stage name Cassie, alleging rape and physical abuse, was settled in November. In a December statement, Combs responded to the claims in all the lawsuits, saying, "Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday."
So, yeah, I mean, this guy, all of a sudden, it just blew up. All these people coming out of the woodwork claiming that he did this and that to them. And, you know, if, I think if people have been genuinely harmed by anyone at all that they have a right to speak out and that they have a right to justice, you know. At the same time, my sense is that there are those times. I'm not saying this one is one of those times where you have these, piggybackers, they piggyback on, they hear something in the news and then all of a sudden they get this brilliant idea of how they can get as much money as they quickly can. They try to extort people sometimes. I mean, just not late last year, wasn't there something about Tyler Perry and some guy getting on social media he's hinting daily that Tyler Perry did this and that to him. And then all of a sudden you don't hear him at all, right? I mean, he never brought any proof forth. He never filed a criminal suit. He just kept hinting that this man did this and that and the other because they all want to, well, not they all want to, but many people want to get a quick payday, as this man says. I'm not saying that's the case in this situation. I have not been following this man's life because he does seem to lead a lifestyle that is not interesting to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not interested in that kind of lifestyle and music and things like that. So I don't pay attention to these types of people. I mean, I'm not in their league. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just not cool enough to hang out. You know what I mean? So I don't, I cannot be bothered. But at the same time, you know, is this man guilty of all of this filth? Or are these people looking to take his money? Let's listen to some more
Let
of
me
this.
be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. Cassie's attorney responding to Monday's searches and the investigation. Hopefully, this is the beginning of a process that will hold Mr. Combs responsible for his depraved conduct. Another lawsuit filed in February by a former employee, producer Rodney Jones, who goes by the stage name Lil Rod, accusing Combs of, among other things, sexual assault. The musician was not at either home at the time.
So I think the litter rod is the one who name dropped Prince Harry in this filth, which is annoying to me on a certain level because I mean, what's his name? Puffy has met, or Diddy, P Diddy has met so many famous people over the course of his career. Why did they name drop Harry? And especially because, Harry and William were at the same event, which was the 10-year anniversary of their mother, Princess Diana. They had a celebration in London, and both Harry and William attended. And then they come and name drop Harry so that the British media is trying to run with it. Oh, Harry named in $30 million lawsuit. So that once again, to poison the British people who have no time to really read the fine print, to realize that, he's not a party in this action. He was not a named defendant. He was a young man, 22 years old, 17 years ago, when he and his older brother William were celebrating their mother's death, the 10th anniversary of her death. And these individuals, P. Diddy and the other one, Kanye West, were invited to perform. And so they interacted with these performers after the concert and so on. There was probably a little reception for the performers, etc. And that was it. Harry and P Diddy and are not, friends, right? But the way that the British media is trying to spin this is that Harry and Harry was named in this lawsuit because this little Rod character, I don't know who that is, but okay, everybody else knows. I understand it. I don't know. Okay, never heard of him. Name dropped Harry. I mean, he could have name dropped Donald Trump. He could have name dropped any number of people. He name dropped Harry. That was done intentionally by his attorneys to get attention. And it was probably suggested by some people in the British media. It was suggested to the attorneys. They probably sent the photos because they have all of this in their archives. Hey, what about this? To soil and sully Harry's name and reputation and tie him to this mess.
Time. His whereabouts still unknown.
This is a huge stain on his reputation, to say the least. And this really feels like a fall from grace for one of the biggest stars and moguls in the music world.
Now, of course, Wolf, the big question, what, if anything, did investigators find at either residence in Miami and here in Los Angeles, and how might that information factor into this ongoing criminal investigation? As of right now, Wolf, investigators aren't saying.
All right, Josh Campbell reporting for us. Thanks for all that. Let's.
Yeah, so it sounds like what this guy is saying is that nobody's really saying what they have yet, you know? I mean, and really, if it's just yesterday that they raided the home and took all those boxes of electronic documents and files, they're going to need some time to go through that with a fine-tooth comb. So, the fact that he wasn't and hasn't been arrested as yet doesn't really say anything. I mean, if there's anything on those files, if that man is so stupid to have committed crimes and videotaped it. I mean, I can't even analyze it. I can't even analyze it if he's that stupid. For me, even if he is innocent, I'm annoyed because, I feel like, there's a saying, you shun the very appearance of impropriety. When you are a person on that level, when you are on that level, you shun the very appearance of impropriety. And this man has been blessed to have achieved such great success. You know how many people are trying to achieve success in their life and they can't get there no matter what they do? And he was blessed with success, financial success, to the point that look at this man's real estate. Did you see those homes? Look at this man's real estate. And instead of using his wealth to live a wholesome life, right? Find a nice wife, have your children, you know, get into philanthropy, build things, create things to help your community, um, you know, do something constructive. What you do is you have all these parties where all kinds of nefarious things appear to have occurred because I've heard many people talking about it, which is why I shun it. I don't even want it in my brain. I don't want to know. And then he has all his spritz and his this and his that. And you hear about the drugs. And I'm sitting there thinking, is that all that you can do with the gifts that you've been given, for Christ's sake? I mean, I don't want to be judgmental. I really don't want to be judgmental because, I can sit on my armchair or wherever and say whatever I want, because I would hope that if I had that kind of money, that I would find a different way to express my appreciation to the gods for this. All of these weird characters, houses filled with weird characters, doing weird things. You just keep hearing all this weirdness. And so I'm like, even if he is from a legal standpoint not guilty of these things, I'm still angry because I feel like him and a lot of these people in the entertainment industry who have achieved great wealth have also achieved great debauchery and just a debased standard of living to the point that I'm like, thank God I'm poor because shit, really, what is this? What is up with this lifestyle that these people choose? Why can't it be something more wholesome, for God's sake? I hate to use the word, but teach us how to be more wholesome in our lives. I mean, gosh, make some crystal decanters. I don't know.
Bring an attorney and legal affairs commentator, Ariva Martin, right now. Ariva, what's your read on this defiant statement from Diddy's lawyer?
Well, it's something that I expected. When you look at the statement that Diddy himself made in December, he has been pretty consistent in his statements that these allegations against him are not true and that these individuals that have filed lawsuits are doing so only to try to extort money from him. That was one of the statements that was made after Jones, the producer, filed his lawsuit in February. So I think it's consistent with what we're hearing from Combs's legal team.
Where does this investigation, Ariva, go from here? Could Diddy actually be criminally charged anytime soon in this federal sex trafficking probe?
Well, one thing we do know, Wolf, is that in order for this law enforcement agency to raid both of his homes in the way that they did, they had to get a warrant. And to get that warrant, they had to present a probable cause statement before a magistrate judge. So they had to produce some evidence that they were going to find, evidence of criminal activity in his homes. Otherwise, they would not have been able to get those search warrants. So we do know, despite not hearing directly from these law enforcement agents, that clearly there is a criminal investigation underway and that they believe that there would be evidence of crimes in one or both of these homes. And if you read that Rodney Jones lawsuit, it is replete with very, very serious and salacious allegations, including allegations that Combs had cameras throughout his homes where he videotaped himself and others having sexual activity with sex workers and in some cases even underage girls.
So yeah, so I have to stop this video here because it's already 21 minutes, which is one of the longest videos I think I have on this YouTube channel. But yeah, I mean, even if it's not true, the fact that his name is being called in something like this is annoying to me. I'm annoyed. And the lifestyle that these people choose to live is just disgusting. I mean, and I know that some people I'm gonna get dragged for saying it, but it's just damned disgusting, right? It just sets a certain bar and a certain example. So you're a certain type of person in society and you aspire to become like these people. I mean, and why would anyone aspire to this, honestly? And in fact, so many people aspire to it. And then they have this way where they make it define the entire community of people who are in their ethnic group. It's just annoying to me. It's really annoying to me. But anyway, that's it for this one. See you in the next one. Take care. Bye.